Schulte Sweeties YouTube channel. I'm a mom of 3 girls ages 10, 7, and 4, and we homeschool, and so this channel is all about homeschooling and motherhood and everything in between. Today I wanted to share a little bit of a review of our family subjects from this past school year, 2021 to 2022. I try as much as possible to do group subjects because I just enjoy being all together and learning together. So one of the first subjects is Bible. So we started this, I think, over a year ago. I think towards the beginning of the pandemic, Knotgrass Curriculum had this as an optional download that you could use for free, I think. They also have a Proverbs, and this is Draw to Learn Psalms, and it is such a cute Bible curriculum. It just tells you the psalm to read each day. We'd read one a day, and then the Bible verse, and then it gives you the description of what you can draw here. Toward the end in the fall, when we were finishing this up, my girls would either draw on their iPads or just not even draw at all, but I would still read the Psalms to them. So we did finish the Psalms, and it was just fun to finally complete that. The next thing that we moved on to as far as curriculum goes is Esther from Grapevine Studies. And this is you draw stick figures of the Bible, and it has in here, let me see if I can get through it. Here's the table of contents, and there is a timeline of at the beginning of the story of Esther. I can't turn the pages, but this is one of the lessons, and you just go through different verses, and the teacher guide that I have on my iPad kind of shows them what they should draw. My middle one does not like drawing stick figures, so she draws her people how she wants to. My youngest has a traceable book, so she traces her things. It also includes some questions, and there's a memory verse in here. We got about halfway, and then it got to be Easter. So what we did for Easter was I bought Campfire Curriculum, the Easter unit, and it was such a sweet, special unit, and we did not finish it because we started it probably a little too late from what they recommended, and then Easter time is busy, spring is busy, so we didn't get it all completed. But some of the things that we did was I got to wash my girls' feet, and that was such a special time. We made matzah bread, and my girls all tried it. So I really do recommend and love that unit. I think we'll either pick it up again next year or the year after and go through it again and hopefully finish it this time. And a couple other things that we do, I try to read a little devotional with them each day. I used to do it in the afternoon, but I've been switching it up to the morning time. We read through Love Does for Kids by Bob Goff, and also his Everybody Always for Kids by Bob Goff. And I love those books. I love his adult books, so I loved reading the younger ones for my kids. So what we switched to since we finished both of those is Indescribable little devotional. So we read this in the morning now. I love that it includes a little bit of science, and even my youngest, some of it's a little bit hard for her to understand, but she picked up that we were talking about Saturn the other day, and when she watched Mickey Mouse, she saw that they were talking about the planet Saturn, and she was so excited. So I am going to continue that this next year. We might even finish this book before the school year, who knows. Moving on to history. So a couple different things. We started out with 50 States by Knotgrass for the younger kids. It is a curriculum for grades, I think, 1 through 6. We just didn't love it. There were some activities that we did like. We didn't probably do it as written, but it just wasn't clicking for us. I think it was just too much writing, reading, and it just got to be a little too much and wasn't working for us. So what we did, and by the way, we did use their Knotgrass, the Star Spangled Story the year before, and loved that. That was what got my oldest loving history. But what we did was we decided to just do our own thing, where we watch a YouTube video for kids on each state, and we do a little map work of figuring out where the state is. We will watch State Plate, I think is what it's called, by Taylor Hicks on Amazon Prime. And so we watch those because we love learning about food, and that he creates a plate from each state. So we have switched to that, and we also play scrambled states as well. My girls like that. I think that's been just working out for us. And we have done a little bit of state study for our state that we live in. I have a book about the state, and we read through some of the historical things. Hopefully we'll add in a little bit more because I want my girls to know and love their state that they live in. Another thing that we have picked up this year is started around February with Black History Month, but we have continued this on, is this Little Leaders, Bold Women in Black History. And we have just loved, it's all about women, and of course, raising my girls, we like to read about women in history. And it's been really fun because sometimes we'll pick up and read, and it's about an artist, so we will look up what their art looks like and maybe try to recreate that. Or we've listened to different music from different singers, and it's just been really fun to go through that with them. And I have another book about women in history, so we'll pick that up after we finish this one. A couple of other things that we do is I added in Story of the World the first volume, Ancient Times, and we started this as a read aloud in the fall. I kind of put a pause on it because we started History Quest in early times as well, and that I keep that on my iPad as a PDF. Sorry. We put this on pause, and I decided to pick it back up this spring, and it's been kind of fun because sometimes it correlates with History Quest. So I mentioned History Quest, and we still do that, but I do not do that as a family subject anymore. We started out as a family subject, but it was too intense for my two younger ones that don't really love history anyway. So I have switched that to just doing it with my oldest, and we read that during the week, and then usually on Friday, if there's an activity, we will do the activity all together, and so the little ones are still joining in on the fun. I did get this Layers of Learning writer's workshop this year, and we did a few activities, but we did not do very many. So I'm hoping that maybe we'll pick this back up, or at the very least, I will add in a little bit more intentional journaling time. I do want my girls exploring writing a little bit more. So the next thing I wanted to talk about, I don't have any of it in front of me, is science. So science, I had bought Apologia Astronomy, and I even had the experiment box, but as I was looking through it as a family subject, it just was overwhelming and probably too much for my younger ones. So we switched to The Good and the Beautiful Space this in the fall, and we went through it and enjoyed it. My girls all were able to join in together. We also have added in Generation Genius science videos, and they have it by levels, so my two younger ones like to take turns picking out, and then we will go watch the video. It's usually about 10 minutes long, has a little song in there that they like to listen to, and then we'll do a little quiz on that together. The last thing in science that we added in was chemistry. We moved into chemistry, and we used Real Science Odyssey, and we were doing it as a group. My younger ones loved the experiments. There's tons of experiments, but it just wasn't working. The information my little ones just didn't understand. It was just going over their heads, and even to do the experiments with them, they were just like, we don't understand what's going on. So what we did was I decided to make the switch to do that also just with my oldest daughter. But in that same time, my oldest daughter said she didn't really like the curriculum we were using for that. So I did a little bit of switching towards the end of the school year, and we have plans for this next school year to pick up chemistry with a different curriculum and go through that together, because she really is interested in chemistry and all about it. The periodic table, she likes that. So I want to foster that love of her chemistry but I don't think we will be picking up the Real Science Odyssey Chemistry 1 because it just didn't work. There wasn't very much explanation. They didn't understand exactly why we were learning what we were learning, and I have not great knowledge in chemistry, so we decided to switch that one up. Another thing that we added in, my girls decided this year that we should learn French. So I picked up Homeschool Languages French 1 from Homeschool Languages, and we got to about lesson 15 or so, and I had to put a pause to it. I don't know if it's probably just me. It was just a little bit overwhelming to me. The lessons move, I felt, quickly, but I'm sure that many people don't think that. It's geared towards elementary kids, and there's games included and things, and there's even a pronunciation guide, but I just felt like I was always either teaching them wrong, or maybe I just didn't remember what we needed to know from before. They do have links to songs, and that was one thing that we really loved, and my daughters were really picking it up. So I think that I will try to dive in it myself this summer and pick this back up with them, because they really do want to keep learning French. A couple other things I added to French was I picked these up, I think, from Amazon. They're little readers, and it has a QR code that you can scan to listen to the audio of it. They're just like basic readers, kind of like what you read for learning phonics, but they are learning French. So it has the translation over here, and it has cute little pictures, and then it has your French words in here, and it picks up the vocab. So we will continue to do those this year. We only got through a few of them. Of course, the end of the school year is always busy, so we didn't get through too much. And then the last thing that we picked up for French was French vocabulary. We'll continue with that this year, and they like doing that with their vocabulary. A couple other things that we added was Prodigy's music. There's a website that I had an account for. I don't think we will continue this. Part of it was there was handbells that my girls wanted to get out, and we couldn't do that with my husband working from home too often. If he's in a meeting, we would have to come downstairs, and I tell him to be pretty quiet. I do love it, but it was also a little confusing. There's so much to their website. So we probably won't pick that back up next year. I'll probably discontinue our account there. My older two, my 10 and my 7-year-old, both take piano lessons each week and practice throughout the week. So they are learning some basics of like music and notes. So I feel like they're pretty covered, and probably my youngest will take lessons here in a year or so too. We didn't do too much of a curriculum or anything for art. My girls love art. They love crafts for the most part. They love drawing. My oldest is always drawing on her iPad. So we didn't do too much of a curriculum, but I think this next year we might pick up is more of a curriculum that we can add in where they learn about artists and techniques. So that is for art. And then for PE, health, I did somewhat complete the maturation unit from The Good and the Beautiful with my oldest daughter. There were a few lessons that we left out, some things that I didn't think she needed to know about right now. So that was what I kind of said was health or science for her this year. I think I will add in a little bit more health this next year about healthy eating and healthy exercise and keeping your body healthy. And then usually for PE time, they would just go outside. They would run around our yard or ride their bikes. They like to do relay races. And then we also do, a lot of times we will do videos off of YouTube from Go Noodle, or we play Just Dance on our Switch. So those were some of our things that we did for PE this year. I think that is all of our family subjects for the 2021-2022 school year. I hope that you enjoyed this video and heard a little bit about some new curriculum. And if you have any questions, let me know. Thanks.